Hello everybody and welcome to another Transformers review. Now I haven't done one of the Generation 30th reviews for a very long time because there hasn't been a figure out that has really jumped out to me and screamed, "Ben, go and buy this." Until now. Now Hasbro and Takara have given us their version of the IDW kind of stroke G1-ish Arcee. And boy, has this been a long time in the making. We have needed an Arcee ever since the film back in 1986. Zooming out slightly, we can see that we've got a comic book included. This is, of course, one of the IDW comics. I'm really enjoying the comics myself at the moment. I've just finished Dark Cybertron Part 2. I'm collecting the trade, so I'm a little bit behind, so no spoilers please. Also see that this is for 5+, and there are small choking hazards for children. Taking a look at the side of the box, you can see this is 02 series, and this is item 21. This item came from Kapow Toys. They get the other versions of the figures. Basically, when these are going to hit UK retail, we won't have a decent bio like this, and we won't have a comic included. Hence the reason I went to Kapow. Let's just zoom in on that bio. That's just a brief description of what Arcee does and who she is. We have a lovely picture there of her standing there with her guns and her beautiful alt mode. And at the bottom there, we just got the information on her tech spec, and of course the where to find Hasbro and IDW details. And here she is, fresh out of the pack in her bot mode, wielding both her swords. Kind of energon-ish swords, aren't they? Just in the side of her legs there. And she's got both guns in her hands. I am instantly impressed. I was a bit wary of the back kibble, thinking, is that going to be getting in the way? Is it going to be hugely noticeable? Yes, it's noticeable, but she wears her kibble very well indeed. Although this includes the IDW comic, that is definitely a very G1-ish face. I mean, they've got that smile, those big, almost Princess Leia style ears. Kind of regretting not getting the Takara version of the mold now. The pink seems very much similar, but they've got the white applications around here where the black, that's all white on the Takara, which is a lot more G1 reminiscent. The cannons themselves, they fit really nice and snugly into the hands. Now I've seen variations of the hands. I don't know if they were on a Takara mold or if there was a... some of these had slight defects, but the thumb only came halfway across, as opposed to going all the way across. And it was stopping the guns from sliding fully into the hands. The actual sculpt on this is absolutely outstanding. She has a rather nice chest on her. I was worried that the childbearing hips were going to be kind of way too obvious, but actually there's no hindrance there. They look really good. And she is, as far as Transformers go, a very shapely woman. Another issue I thought I was going to have to overcome was her toppling forward, very much like the Transformers Prime Arcee did. But they've actually flattened out the back of her heels there, giving her a very good spur on each foot, so she can crack out some pretty awesome poses. All in all, to look at, her bot mode is absolutely phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, it's not without fault. I would have loved if the back section could have folded up slightly better and hid kind of out the way. But they've kind of got the best of both worlds. The IDW Arcee does wear a backpack where she stores her weapons, where she's kind of a trained ninja assassin. And the G1, this just screams G1. I think they've made the best of both worlds to keep everybody happy. I love the fact that we've got the ability to store both swords and the guns in those leg holsters. That's a really nice touch. You can decide how you want to display and you can mix and match. I also love the fact she can crack out all of these poses because of the amazing articulation they've included. Let's just go over that articulation. Taking a look at the head itself is on a ball joint and a forward rocker. She's got a great range of movement looking up, fairly good range of movement looking down, so she can look down at Spike and Daniel. Left and right, and don't know if you see it there, but all of this is light piping. She's got really nice but slightly loose ball jointed shoulders. We have an upper bicep swivel. We've got a really nice clicking bend at the elbow. Unfortunately, it only goes, well, it goes just beyond 90 degrees, so that's actually quite surprising. There is no wrist swivel. Due to the way this transforms, there is no waist swivel. We have a really nice upward motion on those thighs. There is a ball joint in there. Is that a ball or is that a double swivel? I believe that's actually a double swivel. You have a swivel above the knee. You have a nice knee joint, again going beyond 90 degrees. And you have an up and down motion on the foot, but no pivot. But all that being said, the joints are very well made. They are pretty tight, other than the slight looseness on those shoulders, and it does allow us to get her into some amazing poses. Would really like a kind of a flight stand with this, just for the IDW fans, just so we could have her kind of jumping down or soaring from a building. Now, how will she fit in with your collection? Going with the generation figures, I think she scales pretty well with Springer, although I think even then she is probably just a little bit too small. If we're basing it on the G1 style scale, she came up to around his kind of chest height and you could pick her up and he's like, oh, I love you and shit, but I love Rodimus. And will she scale with Masterpiece figures? In my opinion, no, not at all. If you're looking for a Masterpiece Arcee, unfortunately, this is not it. It's definitely a huge step up from the, say, the TRNS Trans, is that the 01 figure from Impossible Toys? But I'd still definitely go for the MGT01, the kind of I-Gears version of that figure, which is much better scaled with the Masterpiece figures. If anybody does have an MGT01, let me know, because I want one! To get Arcee transformed, just for the purpose of the review, I'm going to take all of her weapons off, because we can store them all in vehicle mode. So let's take all of those off. Like so. And your first step is just to kick back those heels. She's had a hard day at the office and she wants to take those heels off. What you need to do, you need to pull off this front chest section. It's just tabbed in at the bottom there and just around the chest there. Lift this back section slightly and frees up the shoulder area here. You want to lift this entire section up, and as you lift it up, you want to rotate her head into the crevice there. Rotate that all the way in and just push that up like so. You can then come round and flip this section back on itself and down like that. Next, we want to take the shoulder, which is currently facing outwards, and just twist it up and around on itself so these tabs are all facing forwards. You can then come round to the thigh, slowly rock it back on this hidden joint here, and you can then flip that thigh section up and the feet will slide in and tab in just behind the wheel. The back of Arcee currently looks like this. You then want to flip open this section here, that then tabs into the top like so, and you can bring that section down and that will tab in just behind here on both sides. Just tab that in over there like so. Now in essence this is pretty much her alt mode finalised. It's absolutely stunning. But what I like to do, I like to just separate these arms just a tad and just kind of just turn them around just so they're a little bit more plush. It's never going to roll, which is slightly unfortunate. It kind of shimmies along a little bit. It's just too much underneath there, dragging on the floor. But the arms are a little bit more plush if you slightly turn them once they're under. But all in all, that is an absolutely stunning rendition of G1 Arcee, isn't it? I love how all of this section here was actually her real chest, and there was no like panels, nothing was hidden. Everything that we saw has been used for the transformation, and that's fantastic. Now let's just take a look at where we can store the weapons. We can pop a weapon in here, or actually let's put the guns on the top here, like so, and like so, and then we can put the swords just on the thighs, like so. Now, I mean, I like that. That's okay. I just think she looks a little bit too heavily armed for Arcee. It's just something. I think the whole reason I liked Arcee was just how slender she was. I think she looked way too armed up there, and that the alt mode itself could do without all of those extra accessories, in my opinion. I suppose we could always get rid of the guns on top. If we pop this section here, take this gun off, If you look underneath here, I believe, let's have a look, we put it that way, is it? Or was it this way? It's this way here. That can be stored underneath, like so. That's out of the way. Then we can just put this gun, we throw that away. And there we go, that looks a little bit more like Transformers animated Arcee, in my opinion. But I'm going to display her. If I do have her in vehicle mode, I'll take these swords out and just have her displayed like that, because that is absolutely gorgeous, even to the extent where they've gone and put a dashboard in, which looks like a kind of a sat-nav screen in the middle there, a nice little steering wheel, and I mean, that's high detail. We're not used to that sort of detail on what is in essence a deluxe figure from Hasbro. Now, I could be completely wrong here, but don't you find that her alt mode actually scales a heck of a lot better than what her bot mode did? All in all, it's a fantastic little bot, great value for money, and it's a delight to have Hasbro releasing toys like this, aimed at the younger generation, but the adult collectors are going to see this and they're going to want it. Now, I know Mastermind Creations have a version of Arcee out at the moment, Azrelia, I think her name is, or something along those lines. To be honest with you, I'm not sure if I see the need for it. It's a nice looking figure, brilliantly and beautifully designed, but I think they're just a little bit too late with it when we can get this for a fraction of the cost. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, from myself and Arcee, goodbye.